We're back with a Fox News alert. One of Kamala Harris's top advisors, Communications Director Ashley Atene, has announced she's stepping down from her post, or she was fired. The news comes as mere hours after Vice President's train wreck interview with ABC. With her approval ratings in the gutter, worst of any vice president of all time, Harris took some softball questions from Democrat George Stephanopoulos this morning, where she looked to downplay the reported tensions between her and the president. Watch.
Vice presidents always face chatter about their role and their relevance. So you don't feel misused or underused?
No, I don't. I am very, very excited about the work that we have accomplished.
Not really sure what Vice President Giggles is excited about, because when she was confronted about the sky-high inflation in America, we got this highly edited response.
This is all happening in the context of 2 years of a pandemic. It's one of the highest priorities, actually, for the president and for me. And so we're dealing with this issue in a number of ways. Short term, one of the issues is the supply chain. We're seeing a bottleneck, and we need to relieve that bottleneck.
I wonder what her real answer was, because ABC showed us a version with 4 edits in just 15 seconds. I guess she didn't have one. Now let's bring in Lara Trump and Stephen Miller. All right, Lara, I mean, she giggles, and then her answer was so atrocious they had to edit it 4 times in 15 seconds.
Well, I mean, she has yet to give a good interview. I'm still waiting on that. I think we all are waiting on that. She touted, by the way, all the accomplishments of the Biden-Harris administration. Don't forget, again, we have to add the Harrison because she's played a very important role, as she'll tell you there. And I think a lot of people think, well, gosh, what have they accomplished, if anything? But I take it a little bit differently. Perhaps they actually, Jesse, are accomplishing the things that they would like to see happen in America. After all, we'd be crazy at this point to think that our open border was not intentional, that they are letting millions of undocumented illegal immigrants flow into America. If you look at our stance on the world stage, they want America to look weak. After all, we just want to be a homogenous group of countries. We don't want to be a superpower anymore. That's all part of the new world order. They want to kill capitalism. They are killing small businesses every single day. And then they want people to get used to reliance on the government. So continuing to pay people to stay home from work, no incentives for people to get back out there and find the jobs. People have even stopped trying to do it at this point. So perhaps she's right. Maybe she got something right in this interview. Maybe they're accomplishing all their goals here. It's unfortunate. They're all bad for America.
And Psaki said she was okay with high gas prices because that just makes it easier for people to go green. Steve Miller, wow, I mean, this is not good. You go to the biggest softball guy in television, George Stephanopoulos, Democrat hack for a cleanup job, and she botched it.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't even any difficult follow-ups. I mean, all she had to do to have a good interview was to avoid awkwardly laughing, and she couldn't even do that. And that's a pretty low bar to hit. The only person in the country that is polling worse, or actually the only politician polling worse than Joe Biden, is Kamala Harris. That's a political crisis for this administration. It's like having the Titanic sink and then finding out that your lifeboats are all filled with holes. I mean, it is truly a political catastrophe because they have nowhere to go. And I will also add that as they're looking to pass this Build Back Better monstrosity and twist arms in the House and especially the Senate, Democrats have to know that with the unpopularity of Biden and Harris, they are looking at a midterm wipeout if they vote for this bill.
Yeah, huge thumping right around the corner for that. Do you think, Laura, that the Joe people in the White House are cutting Kamala loose and throwing her under the bus because they believe Kamala is the one that's dragging down Joe Biden's numbers?
Well, it's hard to know what's happening in this White House, Jesse. This is probably the least transparent White House we have seen in modern history. You don't get much information at all from them. So perhaps that's the tactic. But I mean, I think that Stephen is right. This is a sinking ship. They have known it. I mean, the problem, though, with Kamala Harris is they knew getting into this how unpopular she was. She dropped out so early during the Democrat primaries because she was polling so low then. And then they told us all, well, we're going to choose her based on how she looks. So no one is surprised about this. Maybe they think that making her look worse makes Joe look better. Unfortunately, it makes them all look really bad, and us as Americans look even worse.
Yeah, it speaks to Joe Biden's poor instincts, which, if anybody had followed politics for the last few decades, we already knew were bad. Stephen, Lara, thank you guys.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.